Calling all teachers, medical workers, security guards, and everyone in between, I found the easiest, laziest, high-paying job, and guess what? It requires no phones and pays six figures. There are no degree requirements and training is provided. Let's hop right into this high-paying opportunity. But first, I got to do my shout out. Miss Crystal said, "Thank you, Jazzy, for all of your helpful interview tips. Although I didn't apply for your pay bump position, your interview tips really helped me get prepared for the job of my dreams. And I received and accepted the job offer. Keep up the good work." Well, congratulations to you, Miss Crystal. I'm so glad that you utilized the interview tips outside of what I post. That is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Like, I can give you a lot of hot job leads, but you should still be looking out on your own. And I'm so glad that you took initiative to do that. I'm so proud of you. I love the ambition and you got the job. So congratulations to you. And then when I asked her more about the job, and she basically said that the job starts in the second week of May. And she said she is going to be an executive assistant to the vice president of a medical school. OMG, y'all, that is huge. So congratulations to you. We love it. Let us know how it goes when you get started. And then Miss Anissa was someone that reached out in the last video when I said, hey, I want to know what you guys want me to search for. Okay. So Miss Anissa, thank you so much for following directions and being very descriptive about what you wanted me to look up. She said, "Hi, Jazzy. I'm currently a Department of Homeland Security case manager, and I'm trying to find a new career that's work from home. I've got experience in customer experience, merchandising, delivery, and retail. I'd love to replace my job. So listen, I got you covered, and I'm going to show you something that pays a lot more than $1,200. Trust me. And I'm going to show you how this experience that you have goes perfectly with this six-figure job that we're about to look at." And then Miss N said, "Jazzy, I need a new remote executive assistant position, please. I need to get back to my 120K plus roles, okay? Needs to be able to cover household and private school tuition." So Miss N, I definitely got you, okay? I am going to show you a high-paying executive assistant position, okay? So let's hop right into it. And then, of course, Miss Schneek said, "Not sure if this has been covered, but possibly more chat support roles, jobs." Girl, I got you. So let's get into these opportunities. So the first bonus opportunity that I wanted to show you is going to be for Reddit. Now, most of you have used a Reddit board to ask questions, to have discussions. It's a really cool place to talk just amongst people that have similar interests as you. And so right now they are hiring for a trust and safety policy specialist. Now, you all, when I said in the beginning of the video, I'm calling all medical workers, UPS workers, people that have worked in collections. This job is going to be the highest paying six-figure job I have ever seen for trust and safety. And I'm going to show you why all of you qualify for it. So it says that basically, you're going to be a part of the trust and safety team, and you're going to be under the user data policy team, right? And it says you're going to review and process legal requests for user information from U.S. and global law enforcement agencies, right? So you basically will get an email of some sort, maybe from a police officer. It could be from someone at the state level, a state government agency saying, "Hey, we're requesting some legal information for a user," right? So you're going to participate in the trust and safety policy on call rotation. You might be looking at some internal processes and workflows, and you might be doing some internal escalations and educating partner teams on what the policies and procedures are, because you might be the person that says, "No, I can't give you that information. That is private information, that's confidential. I can't disclose that information." Or you could be the person that says, "Yes, I am authorized to pass this along to you because of, the working relationship that we have with each other." So all of you that have worked across legal, community engagement, those are going to be some of the cross-functional teams that you're ultimately going to work with. And it says they want you to have experience working with law enforcement or a government agency, specifically handling legal requests for user information. And you may be saying, "But Jazzy, I ain't got no experience in that. And I'm here to say, yes, you do. Let me show you exactly what that would look like for different types of experience. Let's say that you are a teacher or you are a social worker. You may be saying, well, Jazzy, what does a legal request look like in that sort of field? Well, for a teacher or social worker, it could be an IEP form request. That is a legal document. It could be responding to a child protection service request. If there's some sort of child abuse that has been reported or that you have to report, that is a legal document. And you better believe that gets forwarded to some form of law enforcement or government agency. So let's say you work in banking. Now, one of the first things that you do, whether you work in banking or collections, is you have to make sure that you're verifying people's identities, right? We don't want to set up a payment arrangement for somebody that's doing something fraudulent, right? And if you work in banking and you're processing an application, let's say for a mortgage, let's say you're processing an application for a loan for some service product, the first thing you have to do when you run those applications is you have to verify their identity. You may also do things related to running a credit check. Running a credit check is forever going to be a legal process. All right. It involves compliance. It involves auditing. So this is information that you are touching on a daily basis. Even if you don't directly hand it to a law enforcement agency, there is some law enforcement agency behind these credit checks and these criminal background checks that are run that are basically giving you the information that you are requesting, right? Well, Jazzy, what the heck does that look like if I work in human resources or as an office manager? Same thing, running background checks, doing those identity verification forms, right? Doing access control requests. All of that stuff gets sent to a security team. Even if you're reporting suspicious behavior to law enforcement in order to keep the office safe, or there's a disgruntled employee that's just been terminated and he doesn't want to leave the premises, you may have in the past reported that to law enforcement, or maybe you had to submit a police report to someone in law enforcement regarding something similar to this scenario, right? Well, you may say, Jazzy, I work in the medical field. I don't really talk to law enforcement. Well, you don't have to talk to them directly because you all still handle things like HIPAA forms. Those are legal documents, right? So when we look back at what they're asking for, they're saying they want someone that's handled a legal request for user information, okay? Heavy emphasis on user information. So let's make sure that when you're doing these things, you understand the weight of what you're doing. Someone may be requesting medical records. That is the same thing as user information, whether it's a doctor, it's a provider's office, it's a family member. That is a legal medical request, right? And for those of you that work at places like FedEx, UPS, DHL, anything in logistics, you probably touch more user request information and work with law enforcement directly or indirectly more than anybody else, because you have to do things like signature verification. You have to provide those compliance documents. You also have to work with law enforcement to conduct investigations when a package has been reported lost or stolen, right? If you ever worked on a shipping dock or you ever had to sign a manifest stating how many items were on board or were within a shipment, those are legal requests, right? That either a security personnel has to sign off on or someone from law enforcement that works in border protection or something like that. So you're working directly or indirectly with law enforcement, right? So now you guys understand, you have no excuse as to why you are not applying for this, okay? And as we always say, the resumes are already done for you. They're available over at paybump.com. And what's cool here is it says this job may span more than one career level. career level. So even if you're mid-level, that's fine. There's room for growth. If you're entry level, they're saying, hey, that's okay. We're okay with people that are growing. But look at the freaking pay. 140K is where it starts. It goes up to 200K. OMG. Have you ever imagined getting paid 150K to write reports? Right? To send a report, to email a report to a police officer. Have you ever imagined that? Well, start dang on imagining it because it's happening, okay? There's no reason why you shouldn't be applying for this. I've done the resumes for you. Let's move on. Now, the next job, for those of you that may be saying, Jazzy, I want to do something a little bit lighter, something a little bit, easy. I'm just getting back into the workforce. We talked about Like to Know. Many of you have used Like to Know to find outfits and different things like that. So they currently have a position here in the US for a support specialist, right? So with the support specialist, you're actually going to work on the commission team. And this is basically for the creators that are on the platforms. And you're going to make sure that they have their questions answered. They might ask you questions about, hey, when do I get my affiliate payment? Or, hey, I have a question about how to do something within the app or a brand or something like that. You would be answering those questions via chat, right? So you could be answering commission or payment chat questions or tickets, right? If you've ever used Zendesk, you guys already know how the ticketing system works. You do so many tickets a day, but again, nice, easy, laid back job for those of you that just absolutely do not want to be on those phones. So if you've got any experience working in a SaaS environment, you have got that Excel experience, any sort of customer support experience really is going to be what they're ultimately looking for. And as I've said before, they offer paid maternity and paternity leave. For those of you that are pregnant, planning to become pregnant, planning to adopt, you're going to use a surrogate. They offer benefits for that full, paid leave benefits. To my knowledge, would check with the recruiter, but most of the time they're going to offer a full 12 weeks. Some companies will offer 20 weeks of paid maternity leave. And it's totally okay if you're like, hey, I'm pregnant. I'm going to go on leave in 2 months. They're like, okay, great. Come on. That's what we have this benefit for. So make sure you are applying to this job. Again, the resume has been done for you. This is already in your pay bump portal. All right. So we had someone asking about executive assistant jobs, and I wanted to show you guys this administrative assistant role here at Netflix, guys. This is a very, very high paying role. Okay. And yes, the resume is done for you. Now let's talk about it. I know a lot of these Netflix roles will say a specific location, but many of the managers that work across Netflix and many of the executives are not actually based in Los Angeles. Because of COVID, a lot of people have moved around. A lot of people have relocated. So sometimes these locations are super duper outdated and they just open it up to remote and they forget to update it on the actual application. I've seen that happen 1,000 times. So if you're interested in this and you don't live in California, it's okay. You should still be applying for it. When I worked for Amazon Corporate, the job listing was for San Francisco. Y'all know I don't live in no San Francisco. Your girl lives in Atlanta. I interviewed so well, they said, we don't care where you live as long as you show up for the job. As long as you show up on Zoom, that's all they cared about. So you should be applying no matter what. So it says that they are seeking an experienced admin assistance to support the leaders within the systems and workflow team. And basically, they're going to do all the things that an executive assistant would do. They might be managing some calendars for the leaders and their teams, including scheduling meetings, both internally and external meetings. They might be booking or coordinating logistics for those meetings, events, and even offsite events, right? You could be arranging some travel. This could be for everybody that is on the team. It could be for the C-suite people, but you would be basically booking people's flights. You might be booking the hotels for them. You might occasionally have to do things related to a presentation right? Or sitting in on meetings and taking notes. So most of you that want to apply for these types of jobs, you've done this stuff already. You're proficient in Google Calendar, Google Sheets, all that sort of stuff. But what's really cool is about the salary range, right? Because they allow you to choose how you want to be paid. Okay. So most of you with experience are probably going to come in mid-range. Let's just say hypothetically 150K. You can decide if you want most of that to be in salary in the form of cash, or if you want to receive that in stock. So some people like to take a really big stock payout because Netflix stock is doing very well right now. And some people are like, no, I'm good on that. I just like to take the 200K in cash. I don't really need that much stock. So they let you choose your compensation model and ultimately how you want it to be distributed to you. So a lot of you guys have been watching the interview videos and you've been landing these jobs. And that's what I am super duper excited about. Continue to watch these videos and make sure you check out the Tinder video because that job is still hiring. Who doesn't want to get paid to stalk people on these dating apps, right? To make sure that these dating apps are kept safe. So make sure you check out those videos because as I always like to say, if you stay ready, you never ever have to get ready. Oh,